So how do you stop leaving money on the table, right? I'm going to break down 4 fallacies here about the untold truth behind Bellingham's luxury real estate market. Because if you own a home in Bellingham, considering about making a move and having to sell your property, maybe you need the equity out of it, maybe you don't want a rental, and owning 2 homes, if you own a home in Bellingham or are considering making a move, this video is for you. You've probably seen all the national headlines, all of the flooding of inventory. There's way too many homes. The national news does not reflect what's happening in the local market, especially in the luxury segment here in Bellingham and Whatcom County today. Today, I'm actually going to kind of break down some of what the numbers tell us and how it impacts your equity, how it impacts your upcoming sale, and how to make sure that you are not leaving money on the table. So stick around. 4 fallacies coming right up. If you like this content and are interested, like and subscribe for more. If you have friends or family considering about making a move, please share this with somebody who needs to know this info today. So let's get right into it. Okay, fallacy number 1. I know what the market is, and it doesn't matter what other homes are selling for because my home is special. Well, that may be the case, but let's let the numbers decide that, or let the numbers dictate how we look at this. Because market snapshot, if we're looking at Bellingham versus Whatcom County, for the entire market, the median price point in Whatcom County is $615,000 as of September. The median price point in Bellingham is $692,000. And when we look at all of the metrics, $1 million plus is the luxury market here in Bellingham and Whatcom County. And that median price point is about $1.3 million, whether you're in Whatcom County or in Bellingham. When I look at the homes for sale in Whatcom County, we are up under $1 million, up 40%. We have 40% more homes on the market today than we did a year ago. Over $1 million in Whatcom County, we have 33% more homes on the market today than we did a year ago. So in terms of all of Whatcom County, there are more homes under $1 million that came on the market than above $1 million. Interesting. Now, when we look at Bellingham, it's flip-flopped. Bellingham, in terms of all pricing, we have almost 50% more homes on the market, but for all prices, the luxury side of things, we have 67% more $1 million plus homes in Bellingham. It's much more of a buyer's market in the luxury segment in Bellingham when we compare it to the rest of the county. Days on market in all of Whatcom County, it's about 42 days. When we look at Bellingham, it's 28 days on market is the averages right now for all homes. When we go in the luxury $1 million plus mark, Whatcom County, it actually takes 2 days longer, 44 days on market, versus Bellingham, it's actually selling 4 days quicker, 24 days on market if you're in the luxury segment. So when I'm thinking about what the market's telling me, we have to look at what the numbers are and how our home is responding to that. Because if we've been on the market months and months, that's the market telling us that we are not worth that, or the market's not willing to pay what we're asking for the property, right? Lastly, the luxury segment. The average, I love this stat talking with clients. The average number of showings to pending for all properties is about 10. So on average, we need to have 10 showings through our property. And then over $1 million price point, on average, we're seeing 11 to 14 showings until we get an offer. When the average showings per listing is somewhere between 3 and 4 average showings when it takes 10 to sell. So if we're under $1 million, we're getting about 3 to 4 showings on average while it's taking 10 showings to sell. The luxury home market, it's taking more, 11 to 14 showings on average to sell a property, while on average, you're getting 2 to 3. So it's important we're looking at the numbers. Most successful clients right now make decisions based on the data of the market, not the drama. Okay, let's step into fallacy number 2. Luxury is indifferent than any other segment of the market. When in reality, luxury buyers right now, if we're selling a property, luxury buyers are less influenced by rate. They're more sensitive to lifestyle, schools, exclusivity, the views. A turnkey, well-maintained home with high-end finishes stands out than ones that need a lot of work. Buyers at the luxury price points are looking for more turnkey. If they need a bunch of work to the property, that could be the make or break between getting an offer and a buyer going to another property. And relocation buyers, majority of buyers right now, 80% of them in today's market, I find are moving in to the area. They're not local already, and they want Bellingham's lifestyle values, not necessarily bargain hunting, especially in the luxury category. Fallacy number 3, there is no risk of overpricing my property because I can always come down. I think the opportunity here is those that have homes that are living in that $1 million plus range right now, especially if you've been in there for any period of time. Likely there's more equity, and today you can leverage it if you position things well and strategize. Now, The risk here is if you overprice, it's going to be more time on market. And the longer something sits on market, even if you're in the luxury category, the question starts to become, well, what's wrong with the property? Why hasn't it sold yet? In the luxury segment here, 24 days on market is the average. So if you've been on the market longer than that, what are buyers thinking? Right? The forecast is values are going to continue to appreciate 2 to 5% in the next 12 months here. Well-positioned luxury properties are selling, but if only priced right and marketed correctly. Otherwise, it's become a buyer's market on the luxury side of things, right? This reminds me of a story, right? I had a client, she came up from California, loved the area, loved the lifestyle, was making all these new friends. But ultimately, after being in Edgemoor for, I think it was about 2 years, she decided she wanted California was calling. She wanted way more sun. She was not liking the winter months up here. So she ends up moving. But we had a strategy. She had been there for a couple years. She still had gained a bit of equity from when she bought it to when we sold it. But we approached it strategically. We ended up putting it back on the market, and it was within either 14 or 18 days, we were able to get an offer, and she moved back to California seamlessly. The key wasn't overpricing it and waiting for the market to come up. The key was, how do we prepare things correct upfront to maximize our exposure and buyer demand? And we ended up getting the right buyer that fell in love with the property. Fallacy number 4 here, I don't need a strategy. I can just put a sign up in the yard, put it in the MLS, and then pray somebody comes along and sells my property. When in reality, I think every home marketed correctly with a strategy behind it is going to sell. The reality becomes when your strategy is hope and pray, that doesn't work for anyone, right? We want to make sure we're strategically preparing our home in advance. What are we doing 90 days out? What are we doing 60 days out, 30 days out, the week of marketing our property, right? We want to highlight special features, the views, the lifestyle, the outdoor spaces, the proximity to schools and parks. We want to make sure that, especially in the luxury segment, that lifestyle is showcased. We want to use precision pricing and not just throw it out there and see if somebody bites on it. We want to be strategic in that, and that's where we lay everything out, look at what the market is telling us, make decisions based on the data. We also want to invest in premium marketing, especially in today's market, 3D virtual tours that you can actually drag and drop and look through the property, not just 2D pictures, and videography. I'm seeing more and more clients coming from out of the area, and their first time seeing a property is the 3D tour and the videography, looking through the home and seeing the actual area and lifestyle around. So that's one reason my team and I, we created a checklist for our clients. The checklist when we are preparing our home for sale in Bellingham, especially if we're still living in it. What do we do? 90 days out, 60 days out, 30 days out, week of, and then how do we make sure we have successful showings and kind of day of prep checklists? If you are interested, shoot me a call, text or email. Note somewhere on this video that you would be interested in getting the checklist. Happy to share that with you. It's available for everyone here. So don't guess on timing or strategy. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk and work with my clients day in and day out about what their real estate related goals and dreams are, and then creating a plan to make that happen. If you or someone that you love, maybe a friend or a family member that is thinking about making a move, could use this information, please share it. Hey, my name again, Nick Berard, over here at Keller Williams. My team and I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. I appreciate you checking this out. Like and subscribe, follow for more, and I look forward to catching you on the next one. Thanks.